Hey, friends, it's Davin. This is the Free Your Voice, Free Your Life podcast. And it is December 28th, 2023. And we're at the penultimate moment before we dance in the new music that is 2024. I generally like to record these episodes in an evergreen way, but there's something about the end of the year that makes one reflective, right? And I'm just returning back to Chicago after some time away with my family. And I'm feeling the warmth of community, the warmth of family, the warmth of togetherness, the warmth of the holiday. And I'm feeling the reflection and the nostalgia of the end of the year. And I'm feeling the inspiration that the new year brings. And I'm wanting to share all of that with you very much of this moment. My hope is that no matter when you listen to this, you could feel the energy that this moment brings. A lot of people don't care much for the new year, and I get that. I know that that has a lot to do with, quite honestly, the disappointment of expectation. And there's something about this time of year that historically people have put profound expectations on that were sort of inevitable in there, leading to some sort of failure or disappointment. But I'm an optimist and I love a good new year. I think it's really beautiful to have this sort of ritual, this ceremony built in that gives us the opportunity to think in terms of starting afresh, starting new, wiping blank, wiping clean the slate of the previous year and just giving ourselves over to the momentum of that which feels fresh, of that which feels new, of that which feels exciting. And I know that we get into trouble when we set ourselves up for, um, I don't know, the self requirement that things should be dramatically different. And I think that probably the reason that I like this time of year is because I've done that in the past and not doing that anymore. But what I do at this time of year is, in the words of Abraham Hicks, launch rockets of desire. This is new to me over the last few years, but it really has become a central focus of mine in that I'm aware that where I focus my attention is what is created in my life. And so often we focus our attention on the patterns of the past. But there's something so great about being able to shift our perspective, to be able to move the needle, to be able to build upon the momentum of our growth, to be able to continue in the river of change, to be able to manifest and create all that our heart wants and desires. And that is the energy with which I enter into the new year. And I want to invite you on that path with me. You know, I love this podcast. I was so hesitant for so long to do this because I had so much internal resistance. I knew I had something to say, but there was a lot of lack of self confidence within me and my ability to just say it, to let myself flow freely. I've mentioned before, I was always comfortable talking in front of groups, talking in one-to-one sessions, but as soon as this microphone turned on, I would find myself caught in the throes of perfectionism, and I would find myself inhibited and limited. And that little slip up right there, that would have done me in. But I'm going to leave it in just to prove my point. But you see, I've grown. I've grown. And do you know why I've grown? Because I've been doing this over and over and over again, especially over this last year. And the reason I've developed an affection for this process is because it has brought me into a deeper relationship, first and foremost with myself and my ability to find clarity and ease and energy with my words. But even more importantly, it's brought me into deeper relationship with you. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful that we have this common thread, this common tool, this common instrument that is the voice. I'm so grateful that if you are a human being and you are listening to this, there is something deep within you that knows of that which I speak, because we share this commonality, we share our voice. And a big part of our collective growth as human beings, I believe, is tied to our ability to trust our voice, to trust our voice. See, that perfectionism that I speak of, that inhibition I felt, that anxiety within whenever the microphone would be in front of my face and the record button would get hit, it came from a lack of trust of myself. Like I knew, and I know that all of this lived experience and the wisdom that comes within this and all the study from all the years around the voice, I know that that lurks within me. I know that it's waiting around every corner to find its way out, to share with the people with whom that message resonates. But there was something within me for so long that wasn't able to trust myself, to trust my voice to let that flow, to trust that making mistakes was a part of that process, to trust that the imperfections are actually where the beauty lies, to trust that my story lies within the mistakes and the twists and the turns. But because I've given myself permission to practice, to try again and again and again, I've been able to find my way into a new rhythm with myself. And I sit down now here today and I feel inspired and I feel lit up and I feel warm and I want to share it with you. And I don't hold myself back. I let it flow, and I just ask for my voice to express that message so clearly to you here through this little podcast. I'm telling you this because I have this sense that the theme for the new year with all of us has something to do around this trusting our voice. And I mean that in the literal sense, and I mean that in the metaphorical sense. I mean that in the sense of the story of your voice. I mean that in the sense of the embodied present of this vibrational instrument within you. But I've observed over time, obviously within myself, but especially within the many clients that I work with, that hesitation, that inhibition, that fear, that holding on, that clinging, that grasping, that it's at the heart of that which does not allow them to sound like they want to sound. That it's at the heart of what stops them from expressing in the way that they want to express. That fear that you feel within, that literal closing of your throat, that protective mechanism, it's at the epicenter of why it is that you don't feel fully expressed, why you don't feel fully creative, why you don't feel fully realized, because you are so committed to trying to get it right, to trying to be perfect, to trying to control. You're afraid of sounding bad. I get it. I am too, or I used to be. But in 2024, I think it's time to let that go. I think it's time to step into a trust of your process, a trust of your inner knowing, a trust of the unique and wonderful nature of your sound. I think it's time to step into the sound of you fully, fully, fully. Now, this has to start with you by yourself. This has to start with you experimenting and exploring by yourself. I was thinking today that this trust that I am speaking about, it's something like the experience of actually following your intuition. I think as humans, we're so conditioned to not trust ourselves. We have so many experiences that believe or lead us to believe that because this thing went this way this time, it is bound to go that way again and again and again. But we know that that is not how life works most of the time. But we take that single experience, and we memorize it in our body, and it seems to quiet the pings that tell us about a different possibility. It seems to quiet the small voice within that goes, what about this? What if you did this? Do you think you could do this? What if this happened? What if this could come true? What if that dream was a possibility? And yet we say, no, that can't happen for me. That's not possible. I'm not good enough. And so we commit to just doing the same thing over and over again, the small nature of our lives, or what we believe our lives to be, we commit wholeheartedly to it. We say to ourselves, this is who I am. This is how things go. This is what's possible. This is how big it'll get. This is how small it is. And we just stay right there, and we commit, and we commit, and we commit, and we commit, and we quiet, and we quiet, and we quiet, and we quiet. But the truth is, there is always this voice within that I believe is actually our true voice. And it's always asking a question. That's the thing about this voice, is it's never providing an answer. The answers are always in the beliefs that we construct based on our limited scope of experience. But the question is always open-ended. Like I said, it's what is this? What about this? What if this happened? What if you could do this? What if you could create this? What if you could make this? What if you could record an album? What if you could sing on stage? What if you could tour for more people than you've ever toured for before? What if you could actually let people hear you? What if you could stand up and speak in front of others? What if you could sing and not feel like your throat closed up? What if you could breathe and let your belly relax when you inhale? What if your palms didn't sweat every time you made a sound? That's the question. That's the voice within the what if. And the answer to that question is always, well, let's see. Let's try. Let's give it a try. Let's do it. Come on. Give it a go. What happened? Oh, let's try it again. Come on, keep going. That is always the answer to that question. But because that feels so open-ended, because that feels so vulnerable, because that feels so wild and uncertain, we rarely are willing. You rarely are willing to follow that path. But I'm telling you, it's time. And a great place to practice is with your voice. With trusting that where your voice wants to lead you is worth exploring. Trusting that your desires, trusting that your hopes, trusting that your dreams are worth exploring. Trusting that the open-ended nature of all of this is the nature of who you are. That you're not small, that you're not limited, that you're not stuck, that you are expansive, that you are free, you are liberated, you are open, you are. And your voice is such a beautiful inroad to that, because every time you make a sound, every time you sing, You are reminded of the you are-ness. You are reminded of the many possibilities. Now, depending where you are on your journey, you may be able to attune to this more than other times. But what I want you to know from my perspective is that it just keeps opening up. Today, as I was driving back from being with family, I put on this musical theater song that for years I have loved to sing. But I have a confession in that there is one note in it that I've always struggled with. Always. It's just outside of what I can really swing. And I don't know. It's just that song that I put on. I don't have any real desire to perform it necessarily, and there's no place for me to perform it, in that context. But it's this song I put on when I'm feeling really good in my voice and I want to see what it is that I can do. And today I just sang it. And, I sang the note. I sang it. It almost makes me, it brings emotion because I'm 42 years old and today I sang a note in a different way than I've ever sang it before. And it's just so self-satisfying. And of course, like as I'm singing it, I go back and try it again and I try to play around with it and I try to make it sound even better. And I play with the position of my mouth, the shape of my mouth, and I look at my tongue in the rearview mirror of my car while I'm singing and I'm asking, is there tension in my tongue? What is inhibiting that note from really, really flying out of me freely? And I'm grateful that the note just sort of was able to stick because it doesn't always stick, but it stuck and it sounded pretty good. And I'm just felt good in my body and it felt comfortable in my throat. And I don't know, y'all, that's magic shit right there. It's just like so thrilling and so exciting and so life-giving. And like I said, I don't have any need for that to live anywhere else other than with me in the car in that moment. But what that moment gives me is the inspiration to just be even more free, to just know what it is that I can do and what it is that's possible. And I keep growing and changing. And look, look what's emerging. And if it's still emerging here now, what else lies ahead? What dreams will be realized? What dreams will I dream? What dreams will I dream? I've said to you before, and I'll say it again, your dreams are always too small for what's possible. I want you to hear that and really think on that. Your dreams are always too small for what's possible. Now you might say, well, look, it's not showing up. I had this dream that I would be on this stage or I would do this thing or I'd accomplish this and it hasn't happened yet. And I want you to know that only means that you're not ready. It doesn't mean that it's not possible. You are only ready for that which you can receive. And so in the car today with that note, I'm ready. I'm ready to sing that, Do you feel that? Like I'm ready. And there's so much in my life, especially here at the end of the year, that I start to realize that I hadn't been ready for, that I am now. And I know you want to be ready. And I know that it's disappointing when we're not ready for the things that we think we want to be ready for. But if you can really, really take a step back into this moment and listen again to that small voice, the what if voice, the look over here, what about this? Let's try this voice. You will always figure out exactly what you're ready for right now. And what you're ready for right now is perfect for you. It's perfect. This is exactly where you are supposed to be right now. You don't need a new year. You only need right now. But the new year promises the truth of your continued change and evolution and growth and expansion if you will stay open, stay present, stay knowing. If you will delight in it, if you will delight in your struggle, those previous many times that I haven't been able to sing that note. In full disclosure, I also know that it is possible I would try to sing that note tomorrow. It might not come out. I just have accepted that. I'm not saying I've resigned myself, well, I'll never sing that note. No, I keep pulling the damn song out. But I've accepted that I wasn't able at this juncture in the road to sing that. I wasn't ready for it yet. And why? I don't know. But I sure as hell don't beat myself up. Okay, you know how many other songs there are in the world to sing? When someone gets committed to a pitch or a song, I gotta roll my eyes just a little bit. Because my friend, you can sing a song in any key. You can sing a million different songs and you can find the ones that work for you. You can write your own songs. But when you get stuck, what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep yourself in a place that feels controlled and safe and exactly where you are. And remember that voice, that intuitive voice within, the voice that is your truth, the voice that connects you to the infinite possibility of the universe, the voice that is the divine nature of who you are. It's always going, well, what about this? Look how delightful this is. Let's try this. I'm curious about this. Oh, how fun, how joyful, how juicy, how delicious. What about this? Let's try this. And that voice, it's not preaching discontent. It's preaching curiosity. It's preaching possibility. It's opening you up to the magnificent nature of what it is to be human. And you just got to listen. You just have to listen and try and trust. You have to trust your voice. You have to trust that the body is so wise. And it has habits that are based on conditions from the past. But if you let it, it will find a way to make the thing work. You know, one of the things I learned early on in my coaching work and with the work I've done through somatic voice work is it's easy as a teacher or as a coach to take one through an exercise and immediately start to try to fix things. Right away, first scale, you go, oh, I hear there's that problem. But there's this mysterious thing that happens if you just do the exercises. The body starts to sort things out. Things often will fix themselves. And the adjustments you have to make aren't as big as you might have originally thought. You just wait. You wait and see. You calm the nervous system. You slow the mind and you let it align and you just listen and watch and wait and see. And this is a control freak's nightmare. For the person that wants to fix everything and help everyone and help themselves, this is bad news bears. But it's true. Think about stretching your body. Think about actually hanging out in a stretch. That first stretch might feel like, ugh, bad. This is going to be forever. But if you just hang there for a little bit, trying to touch your toes, after time, you can find yourself moving closer toward them, and it feels like you haven't done anything. You just let the process of the body, the wisdom of the body unfold. It knows when to let go if you allow it. It knows when to release if you allow it. It knows when to guide you in a new direction if you allow it. But this also requires a quieting of the mind, a quieting of the stories, a quieting of the narrative that has told you that you have to control, that it's not safe to not control, that you cannot trust your voice. You don't know what's going to show up for you. You've had so many embarrassing experiences. The things that have happened to you require that you manipulate your throat. They require that you contort your body, that you squeeze your butt every time you sing the high note, that you hold your breath and you squeeze tight. Does that sound familiar? You don't have to. You don't have to hang on. You can let go. You don't have to squeeze and contort and manipulate and control and tighten and push and shove and squirm and wiggle and wriggle. You can allow. You can release. You can let go. You can be free. You can trust your voice to make the sound that you need for exactly where it is that you are. And that is the fastest path to actual change. That is the fastest path. Your throat does not need to constrict. Your belly does not need to tighten. Your neck does not need to become rigid. Your tongue does not need to retract. All of those come from good modes of operating, of protection. But I'm telling you now, as we go into this new year, it doesn't have to do that anymore. You can trust your voice. You can trust your body. You can trust your sound. You can trust yourself. You can listen to yourself. That is the work. And when you do, there's this knowing, there's this growing, there's this satisfaction, there's this warmth, there's this connectedness that you'll feel to yourself, which in turn makes you feel so connected to the world, so connected to others, so connected. You know, I heard a meditation teacher say recently that most people believe that they want to be happy. And that word is so wrought. What that means becomes complicated quickly. But she was saying that she has found a more useful word that in some ways is at the essence of happiness, and that is belonging, both to ourselves and to others and to the universe and to whatever. But most people actually want to feel like they belong. And that word carries with it a warmth and an embrace and a holding and a safety and a togetherness and a lack of isolation. And I just believe that's very true, that you want to belong and I want to belong. And there's a trust that is required to allow ourselves to feel that, to really feel that, to feel that and know it deep, deep within. So, my friend, as we look toward the new year, could I just encourage you to do this work of listening to yourself as a means of developing a deeper belonging and relationship with your voice so that you can trust your voice? And can I encourage you to just let yourself be exactly where you are and to know that you're in the most perfect spot? And I'm not saying that to say that you won't change. You are sure as hell going to change. You're going to change right now, and you're going to change right now, and you're going to change right now. But I want you to know that where you are now, and now, and now, and how you sound now, and now, and now, and what your voice is like now, and now, and now, and now. It is the perfect expression of who you are. Stop with the disappointment. Even if you believe wholeheartedly that you should be somewhere else, even if you think the world expects you to not be where you are, I'm telling you, you're exactly where you are. You are so perfectly where you are. And understanding that and knowing that is the fastest, most efficient, most momentum gathering path to transformation. It is only from there that you can launch those rockets of desire. It is only from there that you can actually manifest your dreams. It is only from there that you can facilitate change in your voice. It is only from there that you can release the swallowing muscles of your throat. It is only from there that you can let your shoulders hang. It is only from there that you can breathe in deeply and allow your lower abdomen to relax on the inhale. It is only from there that you can make a big, bold sound without the fear of what others will think or if you'll be heard. It is only from there that you can find continuity and smoothness in your voice. It is only from there that you can sing a new song, that you can write a new song, that you can make a new sound, that you can stand up and be seen and be heard and be you. Be fully liberated, free, expressed version, creative version of you. I love you. I love this podcast. I love connecting with you. I hope you'll stay connecting with me in 2024. I want you not to forget that there is a group coaching program that's kicking off in 2024. You can find out more at freeyourvoice.freeyourlife.com. I would love, love, love to have you be a part of it, especially if what I'm saying today resonates with you, because then you're who this program is for. So grab your spot. Don't miss a spot in this program. Also, if you're in Chicago or around Chicago, there are two opportunities to hang out with me. One is on January 10th, Chicago Circle Singing. If you just Google Chicago Circle Singing, you'll find an Eventbrite, which, yeah, I hope you'll come. It's improvisational singing in community, speaking of belonging and togetherness. That is it. That is the place. And also January 18th, you can find me at Orchestra Hall for The Reset, my immersive sound experience that I am bringing to the big stage. And again, my full intention there is to use my voice as a blanket for all of us to crawl under together, to find warmth, to find community, to find connectedness with each other. You can learn more at cso.org/the reset. That's cso.org/forward. cso.org/the reset. See, I'm not going to fix that. You also can find out about working with me one-to-one at davinyoungsvoice.com. And if you just want to learn more about me in general, find me at davinyoungs.com or on Instagram at davinyoungs. All right. I'm going to be all up in your grill in 2024 because, yeah, I got a fire underneath me and I want to do this with you. I don't want to do it alone. I want to do all of this voice work in community. And so I hope you'll join me. freeyourvoice.freeyourlife.com, cso.org/the reset, davinyoungsvoice.com, all the places. Find me, connect with me. Big love. Talk to you in 2024.